Welcome to my latest Horus Heresy battle report. It's 3,000 points worth of Space Wolves chasing down some Sons of Horus who are being reinforced by the Nightlords. We are a year into the heresy and a company of Space Wolves are rampaging through this ruined city, executing the last remnants of a Sons of Horus division. A master of signals in the Sons of Horus army has been calling out for aid to try and push back against the relentless onslaught of the Space Wolves, and the Nightlords are going to be coming in orbital drops, teleporting in, reserving their way in, and trying to break this battle. This is the Sons of Horus force with the Master of Signals here. He's got a support team with him, a dreadnought, and a large squad of Space Marines. And the way this works is he allows the controlling player to re-roll reserve rolls. So we're going to put him on the table at the start of the battle. But even though that these guys, they're fellow warriors, not sworn brothers, and they're not supposed to benefit each other. We're not sure if his reserve rolls are supposed to benefit their coming in, but it's really cool if it does. And it also says that he just affects the controlling player's reroll. So the controlling player controls these. So rules is written. Plus is cool, plus is what we want to do. And what game did we pick to play? We picked Tide of Carnage. You get a point for killing the Warlord. You get a point if you've got the greatest number of surviving assets left. So it doesn't matter how many you started off with, but if you've got 4 at the end and your opponent has 3 at the end, then you'll get a point for that. And in this Tide of Carnage, this battlefield is split into 3 sectors. It's standard deployment, but yeah, you get extra points depending in which zone that you're in. So if this is your deployment zone and you control this sector at the end of the game, you'll get 3 points. How do you control a sector? A side must have 1 or more scoring units in the sector and their enemy must have no scoring units here. So if you have scoring units here and your enemy doesn't, 3, and then 5, and then 7 if you manage to break on through the other side and they have no scoring units down there. This game type encourages both sides to push across the battlefield and try and slaughter the enemy as much as possible. It's going to be glorious. And joining me in this Tide of Carnage is Alex SEO in charge of the bad guys. Say hi, Alex SEO.
Hi, Alex SEO.
In charge of the bad guys.
In charge of the bad guys.
And Sam N in charge of the Loyalist Glorious Space Wolves. Say hi, Sam N in charge of the Loyalist Glorious Space Wolves.
Hi, Sam N.
Okay, that's cool. Right, let's have a look at these armies. And here is the Space Wolves company that have been harassing the Sons of Horus back across this broken city. They've got 0 CP to play with. And the Space Wolves, they can run and charge.
Correct, yes.
And what else you got here?
So we've got the Bloody Claw Rite of War.
Nice.
So basically, once per game, I can call it and everything goes crazy.
Crazy? What do you mean crazy?
Crazy. So they call a HOW basically,
yes.
And everything gets Fleet 2 and Furious Charge 1.
Okay.
But they have to, if they're within 12 and visible, have to declare a charge. So I could be running into some nasty dreadnoughts if I'm stuck out in the open.
So the howl goes off, and those that can charge have to charge. Their vehicles don't charge, but you could end up charging into a Leviathan dreadnought and having a very bad time because they heard the howl.
Yes,
nice.
Just
I like
nuts,
it.
Basically.
Once per battle, I like it. Extra, you're right. What else we got?
We've got my Warlord, which is a Cataphracti in a Praetor on Cataphracti armor. Okay. With a Thunderhammer.
Yes.
He's got a Jarl upgrade, so it gives him counterattack 2 and a skirmish.
Nice.
And then he's got basically the Howl of Mordecai as well. So again, this is another once per game ability.
Another howl.
Yeah, another howl. So they're howling all day long. The walls. It gives everything in my army +1 strength that turn.
Wow.
When they charge, I believe.
Okay.
And then he's with a retinue. So this is a command squad, which gives them line, which is really big in Heresy. And weapon skill 5. So these guys are hitting better and they're scoring, which is really important.
I like it. Line is basically objective secured. So they've got line, right?
Yeah.
And them, and them, and them.
Yeah.
Any more?
Well, in this mission, all the vehicles are scoring units as well.
Oh, yes, you're right. Every vehicle that doesn't have fly scores as well.
Yeah.
And you just need scoring units in those zones. And it doesn't matter how many denial units are there. And you've got a lot more. Unit of Tartarus Terminators.
Yeah, they're fast, so they're taking advantage of the Space Wolf ability, which is run and charge.
Yes.
So Tartarus can run.
Yes.
They've all got lightning claws except for the Sergeant, which has a Thunder Hammer.
Okay.
So
and then you've got 10 Last Cannon Devastators because you don't have any friends.
Yes, and they've got an Augury Scanner, so they can intercept and do all nasty
Intercept.
things. Yeah.
That's a free reaction if anything Deep Strikes comes in from reserve anywhere in line of sight of Las Cannons.
Yes, so it's nasty.
And a Dreadnought because they're good. Who are these guys in black over here with Spartan?
These guys are the Space Wolf Elite.
Right.
So they're the Death Swarm. They've all got power axes.
The Death Swarm.
The Death
like
Swarm.
A swarm of bees.
No, Swarm.
Sworn?
Yeah.
Swarm. Okay.
So they've all got power axes and status bombs.
So power axes gets them to initiative 1.
Power axes initiative 1, yeah. However, they've got a fight on death, so when they die, they can make a single attack if they've not already hit in the assault phase.
Angry boys.
And they've got status bombs, which can make, if you charge them, disordered charges.
Okay.
And they've
got 2 wounds and
2
stuff.
wounds. They're only weapon skill 4. They've all got Artificer armor, so they're all 2-up saves.
Everyone's a 2-up save.
Yeah.
So we've got mini Terminators here. I love it.
This guy's a Centurion,
right?
The Speaker of the Dead upgrade, which is really good for Space Wolves. So he's basically a chaplain and an apothecary.
Brilliant.
So they all have a 5-up feel no pain, unless the strength of the weapons is double their toughness.
I mean, he's got Centurion upgrade plus 35 points.
Yeah.
You've got Centurion plus 65.
Plus 65, because the other thing is when he's a chaplain, basically.
So reroll all hits.
Yeah, basically hatred everything. So when they charge or get charged, they reroll everything.
Angry boys.
And he gives them stubborn and leadership 10.
Nice.
So he's really buffing that year.
And he's an apothecary, so 5-up feel no pain.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So they're terrifying. Tartarus, terrifying. Last Cannon Devastators, you don't have any friends. Lots and lots of scoring units trying to sweep across this battle grid and claim it, basically, for the Emperor, for us and the All-Father.
Yes.
And this is the traitor force. The Sons of Horus have been pushed back and the Nightlords are striking at night time to relieve them because, Alexisio, you're running a Terror Assault?
Yep.
Terror Assault, which means you auto-pick night fighting.
Yep.
And it stays night fighting in turn 2, and you can make it night fighting in turn 3 on a 50-50. And all your Night Lords, you've given Prey Sight, which is a 15-point upgrade, which gives them all night vision. What does this mean? Well, when it's night time, all the units have -1 leadership and -1 ballistic skill, except for the Night Lords. And all the units can't fire further than 24 inches, except for these Devastators over here, because you gave them an upgrade.
Yeah, Augury Scanner.
Augury Scanner. They're still at -1 ballistic skill over that range, but they can target stuff a long way away. But your Night Lords ignore all of that.
Yep.
They were born in the darkness. Absolutely glorious. So it's -2 leadership to be anywhere near these guys within 12 inches in turns 1 and 2. And this squad makes them -3. Your Warlord, what have you done with him?
So he's just a Praetor.
Okay.
He's got a big chain glaive.
Nice.
He's a Night Lord. He's got a Warlord trait, which I can't pronounce. It's like Jadek Clan Lord.
He's a Clan Lord.
Yeah, that'll do. And he gives the units with counter attack 1.
Okay.
Which is nice. He can reroll failed dangerous terrain tests, which is important for them guys. And he just ignores the movement penalties for terrain as well with the unit he joins.
So he's not slow by terrain.
Yeah, and you get an additional movement phase reaction.
Nice. Okay, because the additional reaction that you do for Night Lords, is that a movement 1? No, that's in the charge phase. When they charge you, you can fall back. Okay, so you got these guys. These are the Terror Squad. They're absolutely brutal, elite. This is a 500-point unit.
The Night Raptors, yeah.
The Night Raptors. This is a 500-point unit.
It's crazy, isn't it?
With chain glaives and chain stuff and bloody they're nasty. They're more expensive than the 10 Terminators that you've brought.
Yes.
And these are the Night Lord Legion specific Terminators as well. They're Conticars.
Yeah, that's right.
And Volkites, Flamers, things like that.
Chain glaives.
They're AP3. These are AP3 stuff, but I think it's breaching 6+ for these elites. So
pretty much everybody, yeah.
Yeah, so on 6s, it's going to be going straight through armor. Only 1 heavy.
Yeah, that's the restriction of the Terror Assault.
Okay, and he's coming in a Dreadclaw drop pod.
Yeah, got to make the most of it if you only got 1, right?
Yeah. 1 support team coming in another pod.
Yep.
With plasma.
More guns.
2 units of Night Lords with the Rhinos. Now, these Rhinos will counter scoring as well. And they're beautiful Rhinos painted by Rob Not Steed from marchofwar.co.uk. And, of course, my Sons of Horus, painted by Den of Imagination Painting Studios. Thank you very much, Den. I think we've mentioned everything.
Yeah, well, we've got Melter Squad. I don't think it's
Melter Squad,
the Melter Squad,
yes.
and the Dreadnought, and
Yes.
the big fat unit of 20.
I think I mentioned earlier that you're putting everything in a reserve.
Yes.
So the dice roll is going to be very important. All right, fellas, whoever wins this roll off will be going first, unless the other person manages to seize. Good luck. Who was the purple?
I was the purple.
Okay, so you're going first, Alex, which I think is quite lucky, because if you went first and you had very little on the table, you might not have had very much left by the time the reserves.
Not many people left to save.
But there still is an opportunity for the Sons of Horus to seize the initiative. They're good at that. And here we are after deployment and double checking, triple checking the rules again about reserves, because drop pods turn 1. You know what I mean?
It's a right
But
of war.
Heresy, yeah, drop pod assault is a right of war. So your reserves are coming on in turn 2. Not until then. All reserves come on in turn 2 unless drop pod assault. So it's all about scoring units, Sam.
It is.
Scoring units in here?
Yep.
Not scoring units.
No.
But the Rhino scoring as well.
Yep.
And then we've got all the las cannons. And then who's in the Spartan?
This is the party bus. It's got my Praetor and his retinue with the Cataphracti. It's got all the Death Sworn and the Speaker of the Dead.
Brilliant. That's a lot of guys.
It is.
More scoring in the tank.
Yeah, another Grey Slayer pack and the Rhino.
Okay.
And the Tactical Squad and the Rhino here.
And you're running them down. The Sons of Horus, War Master's own legion. You have them on the back foot. And this is all that they have. But when the deep strike happens, the Nightlords have got quite a few little pockets that they could fall into here. But will the deep strike happen early or late? Can you seize the initiative, sir? Have you got a dice? Do you want to seize the initiative? You don't have to.
It'd be nice to go first.
It's night time.
Yeah. Get out at night time.
Do your keen senses see the way?
Right, come on.
No.
The opposite.
At the end of turn 1, the Sons of Horus Dreadnought has advanced through the ruins here, and the 2 units down in this cover have ducked and covered, because 3 in this back squad have been lit up. After the wolves unleashed a howl and started racing across this battle grid, the Devastators up here could draw a line of sight down onto those Sons of Horus and take 3 of them out. And still a lot of units held back. The Sons of Horus are just sniffing out the other wolves. Wolves versus wolves, you know. Lunar wolves. So, yeah, it's the wolves. And so it's now turn 2.
Yes.
Will your reserves come on?
Give me one of your weighted dice.
So this is the drop pod assault. That happens. What do you mean weighted? So that's the deep strike assault coming in. 2 rhinos coming in as well.
They're exactly the same.
Which you can re-roll because he's calling out for aid. No. And one was snagged on a pylon or something a little further back. Will not be coming on. He'll be late to the party. It's still night fighting as we go on to Nightlord's turn 2. And here we are, still in the movement phase because we haven't done reactions yet. The Nightlords have made it to the party. Here's the Rhino busting through cover, but in the middle, a smash of Nightlords coming out of a pod, a Leviathan Dreadnought, dropping down from the sky, the jumpy dudes. Here, there's the Contakar Terminators. These guys came out of a pod as well, and this unit needs to take a pinning test. The Praetor is not stubborn. The unit is not stubborn. It's night fighting -1, -2 because of Nightlords, -3 because of that unit. This is a leadership test of 7. Good luck.
No, there's no Praetor in there. It's just a normal squad. Leadership 5.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Praetor's in the Spartan.
It just gets worse. They're pinned. Now, unit does have an inexorable, though. What does that mean?
Means they ignore leadership modifiers for pinning and morale purposes.
Yes.
Except in the cases of fear.
Oh, so they are pinned.
Yep.
Brilliant. Because the Space Wolves advanced reaction is, at the end of the movement phase, once per battle, you can jump on the enemy. And your additional one is, once per battle, you can...
Run away in the assault.
How very Nightlordy. How very Space Wolfy. Your Contemptor Dreadnought can make reaction, and you do have interceptor shots up here. The Night Raptors are getting lit up after the vehicles have reacted here. Devastator shots coming in. This is the number of hits. Wounding on 2s. Looking for 6s because of intervening models, making 2 of them, but 4 Night Raptors get blown in half. Meanwhile, over the Sons of Horus side of the battle grid, the Dreadnoughts moving forward, the support team have busted through the ruins, and in the first salvos of the traitors, that Rhino can draw line of sight to the Dreadnought, can draw line of sight to this Rhino back here, hitting on 3s, nighttime. One of them hits, and strength 9, it goes straight through. Rhino's got a 5-up cover save here.
Nope.
Penetrates, goes straight through, and rips off a gun. Then the Leviathan, with prey sight, aims at the Contemptor, hitting on 2s, and hits 3 times, wounding on 3s, 2 wounds, 2 5-up saves, making one of them. Then, after the Contemptor takes a wound, the Terminators open up multiple flame hits into these Terminators right in front of them. Alexisio, how many flamers are there?
6 flamers.
Right, okay. +1 to wound right now because they're pinned and you're Nightlords, and this is what you do. 3s. 3s? 3s. 1 minute, those are heavy flamers. Strength 5. So 2s to wound. 2-up saves. And you can't evade or anything like that because they're pinned. Just 1 falls. And the ones not carrying heavy flamers, well, they had Volkite Cavitors, which do this number of wounds. And that takes out another 2. Then after the flamer and the heat from the Volkite burning through this unit, there are only 7 remaining. And moving down the line, this tactical support squad with plasma that just got out of that Dreadclaw is unloading on the Melter tactical support squad, which has already lost a model from the Havoc launcher on the Rhino. These are the wound rolls, looking for 2s, and 4s are nasty. 3 armor saves, 3 cover saves.
So armor saves
on 2-ups with the Artificer, so you're good.
He died already.
Did he die?
Yeah,
right, okay, so there's 3 left, and you've got to
5
make
covers.
the rest in 5s.
5-ups.
No.
They will die, but I will react.
So as the melters get lit up by the plasmas, they react and shoot back on force because it's nighttime to them. And 2 of them hit, and they will kill this plasma team, at least 2 on 2s. And 2 fall. After the gunfight in the middle, the plasma team are left standing, and then back to the statue in the center, we have a multi-charge. The Terminators of the Nightlords charging into the remaining Tartarus Terminators of the Space Wolves. But the Terror Squad are in there first. +1 initiative on the charge. +1 attack because this unit are pinned, but we're going to start with the Praetor, who hits on 3s with his Chain Glaive. And wounds on 2s. Re-rolling, looking for 6s. So that's a 2-up save and a 5-up save.
So 2-up and 5-up.
1 more falls because 1 was injured. Here's all the other glaives that the Nightlords are swinging on 3s.
And on 2s with shred.
Yep. Re-roll those 1s. And 6s are nasty. 8 2-up saves and 2 5-up saves. Another Terminator and a bit falls. And the Power Sword went swinging, the Headsman's Axe went swinging, leaving 3 Tartarus Terminators of the Space Wolves standing. Then at Initiative 4, both of the squads of Terminators pile into each other and fight.
So 5s to hit the Conticar.
Space Wolves striking out. The weapon skill of the Conticar there, making it hard for them, forced to wound, re-rolling everything. And those 2 wounds, well, 1 manages to sting one of the Terminator plates. Now the Conticar Terminators strike back, hitting on 3s. Wounding on 2s. Nightlords attacking at night. And these are the 2-up saves. Ouch. And the 5-ups. Kills another. And yes, the Sergeant of the Space Wolves is left standing, ready to swing his fist. Hammer. Hammer on 5s. Hits once.
Wounds on
1 lash of vengeance before he falls.
No,
he fails to wound. With the Headsman's Axe, strikes back on 3s, wounds on 2s, and 1 is breaching. And they both cause instant death. So 1 5-up, and he cuts down the last of the Space Wolf Terminators. So the Sons of Horus call for aids, and the Nightlords have arrived. At the end of their turn, there is a big hole where Space Wolves once stood. The Terror Squad have leapt back here, ready to jump out once more time. Once more time, that works. There's a Leviathan there. The Cataphracti surround the Spartan. There's more Cataphracti. There's a command squad inside of there.
Yes.
There's the Praetor of the Space Wolves inside of there. Over on this side, gunfire in the heavy streets. And we remembered to do the morale test for the plasma team, which fell back. So that is a small mercy for the Sons of the Rout here, but they still got a lot more scoring units than the Nightlords. It all comes down to who owns the crossroads at the end of this battle. So let's go on to Space Wolves turn 2. The Space Wolves leap forward to respond to the Nightlords' aggression. Both of the units disembarking from the Spartan, ready to make a charge. This unit getting out the Rhino on the right flank, but cannot charge because that Rhino is not an assault vehicle, but at least they can bring their guns to bear. And over on the left flank, same thing, guns coming to bear as this unit chases down the plasma support squad that fell back last turn. But more than that, this is actually a sneaky tactical play, because while all the action is taking place in the centre, and I can say this because Alex has left the room, this is all the scoring stuff down here.
Yeah. And
you outnumber him by quite a volume. I mean, all of the death and carnage that's about to happen in the centre, that's the scoring unit. This denial units don't really mean anything in this game. It comes down to how many scoring units are left. The only thing that you're really doing with denial units is trying to kill as many scoring units as possible. Now, we did the whole of the movement phase. Alex does need to make some reactions. Alex? Sam?
Yeah?
And you said that he could react at the end, not bit by bit. You're happy.
Makes it easier.
Yeah. After reactions, the Night Raptors and Kontakar take a few steps back, and the Spartan unloads everything into the Leviathan. And it hits on 4s. It's night time, but the shots are twin linked. And in the end, everything hits. 3s to wound. Sunder won't help you. But you do punch through 4 times. And you might as well do the multi-motor as well.
Yeah.
Which will hit on a 4, twin linked, and wound on a 4. No, just 4 wounds in total. Automatic saves coming up. Only saves 1. Leviathan's down to 4 wounds remaining before the Devastator las cannons fire down into it. Hitting on 4s.
Oh no.
And through the night, only 2 shots slam home. Can they wound on 3s? Only 1 of them. And the Leviathan doesn't save that. It's down to 3 wounds remaining and hasn't reacted yet, hasn't shrouded, hasn't returned fire. So the Space Wolves' Contemptor Dreadnought fires it at point blank range, hitting on 3s.
So las cannons.
And one of them misses.
And 3s.
And it wounds.
And then the melter hits. And
Yep.
the 4 to wound. Wounds.
2 more 5+. The Leviathan will be down to 1 wound if he doesn't shroud. If he doesn't react, he's going to shoot back. His cannon, Cyclonic Melter Lance, unloads. And it hits on 2s. And I think everything hits. And in melter range, you're winning on 2s, re-rolling.
3s re-rolling.
3s re-rolling, yeah.
Don't need to re-roll. So 5 up saves.
And then 1 more wound came through with the Volkites mounted in the Leviathan's chest, and both of the Dreadnoughts are down to 1 wound remaining. Then we rounded out the rest of the shooting phase, bolt guns and bolt pistols firing into the night, and after rolling to hit and rolling to wound, how many casualties?
None, I didn't even wound once with like 50 bolter shots.
It's like you're trying to attack smoke and mirrors, and now we're on the charge phase. The Contemptor has charged the Leviathan Dreadnought, and the Quantified Terminators are being charged by this unit, the Retinue Squad, with the Praetor in it, and they're deciding the better part of Valor is to fall back, and they move 6 inches. And the Space Wolves charge.
Hit fleet 2 because of the Blood Claw Howl.
Yes, there's a howl. I can't see them both.
6 and a 3, so they're getting
11 inches because you went your howl thing. What's it called?
It's the Blood Claw Howl. It's the once per game ability.
There's a howl.
Yeah.
There's a howl. Can you give me the howl?
I'm not going to give you the howl.
And with the Space Wolves howling, the Conticars fall back, but it doesn't count as a fallback move. It's their special once per game reaction. It doesn't take them far enough away, though, to prevent the charge of the Space Wolves. The Chain Glaives of the Nightlords are faster, though, so after they pile in, they strike out at the command squad, hitting on 3s and wounding on 2s. This is the wounding. with a reroll.
8 2-up saves. I love it.
It doesn't get through. One of them struck out at the Death Sworn and injured it, but the weapons of the Nightlords couldn't leave a mark there now. Now the Praetor of the Wolves, the Rout, that's the word I was looking for, strikes out on 3s. And he's going to wound on 2s. Forcing 2 5-up saves. He makes them. And another 2 5-up saves on another guy because the weapon is brutal and one of them gets turned to paste.
So 4s to hit.
Here's the Power Fists. Did you only get 3 hits?
4 hits.
Okay. 2s to wound.
2s to wound. 4 wounds though, at APT.
5 plus saves, each causing instant death. 2 4.
Sergeant with his Thunderhammer.
Okay.
Ooh, 4 hits.
Everything hits.
2s to wound. Ooh,
2 wounds.
2 brutal 2.
First guy. Dies. Second guy. Dies.
5 Nightlord Terminators stand as the Death Sworn get in. They're hitting on 4s though.
Hitting on 5s because they're only weapon skill 5.
Right.
Weapon skill 4, but they've got a Speaker of the Dead, so they've got hatred everything, so they're going to reroll all their hits.
Hitting on 5s. Rerolling everything.
Good job on rerolling because I've got 2 hits.
That was terrible.
Burn them dice.
No, because they've been really good sometimes and now they're really bad.
So that is only 8 hits.
2s to wound.
Yeah, strength 6, so 2s.
AP2.
6 at APT, so 5 up in buttons.
5 ups. 3 wounds. 2 wounds. Whoa.
And at the end of the combat, 4 Quanticars remain. They have to take a leadership test. They're stubborn, leadership 9. And they fail.
Wow.
They're going to break. The Cataphractii can't sweeping advance, but the other unit potentially can.
Initiative off.
4,
4, 3. I have to beat it, I think.
You have to exceed. So you do manage to fall back 2d6 inches, 11 inches. The Quanticar are breaking for freedom. The Nightlords fall back. The Space Wolves consolidate in front of them. Meanwhile, these 2 Dreadnoughts are fighting each other. And these attacks are happening at the same time. Shall we do the Nightlords first?
I'm hitting on 5s.
Hitting on 5s?
No.
And you
Wow.
miss.
No,
That's
no.
because Space Wolf. Space Wolf hit on 3s. Hits 3 times. Strength 9, toughness 8. 3s to wound.
Only 1 wound. But it is brutal 3.
It is brutal 3, so 3, 5 plus invulnerable saves, or the Leviathan's gone. The Leviathan manages to hold in there. The fight in the middle is a draw. And that is the end of turn 2. The Sons of Horus have called for aid, and so far they've been relatively untouched. The Nightlords have been sowing murder in the centre of the table, but the counterattack from the Space Wolves has been legendary so far. Meanwhile, over here, we're about to get into a troop off on this flank, but is it still night fighting on a 4+, Alex? It's still nighttime. No, the sun comes up early. Well, not early. The sun comes up exactly when it's supposed to, but the clouds have thinned out enough because it's Nightlords, right? This is happening in a rainstorm with lightning bolts coming down and all that sort of vox stuff. It's not natural. It's not natural out there. But you've also got to roll a 3-up to see if your last rhino comes on as well. Ooh. You got another dice?
I do.
You can re-roll this. Your guy is still around.
Come on, boys.
No. The last rhino got stuck in a puddle somewhere off the battle grid, and they've only just freed its tracks. Big, deep puddle. It'll be on in turn 4 as we go on to Nightlords and their traitors, turn 3. In the Nightlords movement phase, the Dreadclaw drop pods activated their massive thrusters, and in doing so killed 2 of the Space Wolves in this squad before the unit of Nightlords has got out in front of them. It's daytime now, and a howl is echoing across this battle grid. And because the howl is being called, at least all the Space Wolves units right now are stubborn. So from minus lots of leadership to good on the leadership. They can hear the howl. They're not deterred. The Leviathan and the Contemptor are still in close combat. The support squad with the Master of Signals from the Sons of Horus has busted through here. There's lots of melters this way coming. And this team has jumped up over here in order to hit the line unit, the scoring unit in the back. But there's a reaction coming up from the Space Wolves. And the advanced reaction of the Space Wolves, they get to move forward, they get to charge. They're still a fleet too. They're going 12 inches, and because they're the reacting player, the support team can't overwatch. They've been caught completely unaware. But first we're going over to the shooting phase, and the plasma team, the Rhino and the unit that got out of the Rhino are firing everything down into the Space Wolf squad. And when the dust settles, it looks like this. Only 3 wolves remaining in that squad, and the Rhino has been wrecked, but from a long shot from the Sons of Horus Dreadnought, all the way at the other end of the street. This unit now has to take a leadership test at 8, and they pass. They stand firm. So we move on into the charge phase. The Terror Squad are going to assault these tactical marines in the backfield. At the end of the charge phase, it looks like this. Night Raptors versus standard Space Wolves. And the Night Raptors make a very short work of that unit and consolidate any direction they want to. So they decided to jump back again. We're going to have an elite versus an elite off next turn. But meanwhile, we have a Dreadnought on Dreadnought face off this turn. Both hitting at weapon skill 5 now. Because the Space Wolves are no longer charging. And you have 3 attacks to take this Leviathan down, hitting on 4s.
Come on.
You hit all the times. Wounding on 3s. And wound only once again.
It is brutal 3.
Yeah, so 3, 5
3
plus
sixes.
saves. 3 5s or 6s will keep you alive. No, and this time the Leviathan gets taken down, but he will get to fight back at exactly the same time with 5 attacks, hitting on 4s. And his claws are strength 10. Brutal 3.
Brutal is great because I now have to make 9 saves.
9 5-ups.
He's dead.
Well. And basically the Leviathan withstood the charge from the Contemptor Dreadnought in the night time and managed to hold him off long enough for mutually assured destruction. And destruction it is, because both of them will explode. And after both of the Dreadnoughts exploded, only the Dreadclaw drop pod took a glancing hit as a bit of shrapnel bounced off its side, and now the retinue with the Space Wolves Praetor are attacking this support squad. And the fight between the Legion Praetor and his Cataphracti Terminator Command Squad retinue of pain against the Legion Support Squad with Melters with no close combat weapons. Well, that was a foregone conclusion. The Space Wolves pile forward in the Nightlords' turn. So the Space Wolves' counterattack is proving brutal, and all of a sudden they're very, very close to this unit of tactical marines that were scoring back there. There's only 17 in that squad remaining. They can also countercharge against some of the Terror Squad that came in. And down on this flank, there's still a lot of legionaries wandering around all over the place. Still a lot of scoring options. This fight for the crossroads is a long way from over. Have the Nightlords done enough? Or will the Loyalists begin to drive them back? Let's find out in Space Wolves turn 3. Here we are after the Sons of Horus's movement phase. I nearly said Sons of Horus there. The Howl of Morkai echoes across the battlefield. So we have this unit that was in the crater pushing forward. This unit about to charge the support plasma squad on this flank. And in the backfield, the retinue and the Praetor are going to go charging into the big squad of 17 Sons of Horus back there. So they reacted. They took some steps backwards, as did the Nightlords in the Space Wolves deployment zone. They don't necessarily want to get charged by this unit either. The Spartan is immobilized, and we have some Terminators still regrouping. Next turn they will be able to fire for effect. So now we go into the shooting phase, and the Devastators with las cannons point down at the Contacars, finally hitting on 3s as dawn has broken.
Oh, that's much better.
Everything hits. That was lucky, wasn't it? Those purple dice are brilliant, aren't they?
Yeah, it makes up for the other
Available
turns.
on deploymentzone.tv merchandise page. 2s to wound.
2 to wound. That is 8 wounds.
8 5+ saves from the Terminators. Each failed save will cause instant death and will kill one, unless you want to shroud them. The Contacar take cover, needing 5s. Oh! And only 2 of them get evaporated. Leaving 2 remaining now. The hull-mounted las cannon from the Spartan is firing in, hitting on a 3 and wounding on a 2. And that wounds another 5+. And they managed to survive because the other guns from the Spartan are pointing blank range into the drop dice don't count, into the Dreadclaw drop pod. Here's the Melter.
Hitting on a 3. Hits. Armor Bane.
2d6.
So 2d6. So
Pens.
that's a pen.
AP1. Weapon destroyed. Doesn't have a weapon. Counts as immobilized. Now the las cannons are coming in.
4 hits. And 3s to glance. 4s to pen.
Sunder.
Well, no, they glance on 3s. Strength 9.
You can re-roll glances to pen.
Yeah, let's go for it. Oh, 4 pens.
Just like that.
4 pens at AP2.
6s will make it explode.
No explosions. You've made a big pile of mess right in front of your Spartan. Then there was some small arms fire here or there. No extra wounds caused. The Kontakar are going to need to take another leadership test at 9. And this time they managed to hold. And now we're into the charge phase. Then in the charge phase, the Cataphracti needed big money and failed to make the charge. Over here, the Blood Sworn, the Death Sworn, they failed to make a charge as well. The Nightlords choosing to step back wisely over here. And then the last charge was this fella into the support squad, which overwatched him, and now he's on his own. There were more there. Now there's one.
Yeah, and everything else just made surge moves.
Yeah. And the Grey Slayer hits on 4s. And he'll wound on 2s because of the howl. Forcing 2 threat saves. And not managing to take any of his prey out. And they'll strike back and they'll hit on 4s. And they'll wound on 2s because Nightlords and you outnumber. That was just 1 though. He's in Visage with Artificer Armour.
He is. So he's
So
got
he's
2
got 2
up.
up save.
I'm good at rolling ones though.
And he makes
just
this. Well, yes. And that's the end of turn 3, losing more than you bargained for up this side and failing to make charges over the other sides of the battle grid. Attrition is the thing though, so taking out that Dreadclaw was important, but this game will end in turn 5. So we've got turn 4 and turn 5, and that's it. There's still some Kontakar that managed to survive that onslaught, and there's still the Dreadnought over there, but it looks somewhat outside of position. And of course, we have the famous, the hallowed Nightlords Rhino that has been delayed all this turn, which automatically comes in turn 4 as well. He might be late to the party, but hopefully he can swing this battle. Then we finished off the Sons of Horus movement phase, and a lot of things happened. The Sons of Horus back here reacting to the Space Wolves that are charging down towards their lives, and the scoring unit reacting to this Rhino that handbrake turn onto the battlefield. He was late because he was doing donuts in the car park, and the team have got out. The intention is to put as many shots into that scoring unit as possible. The Dreadnought's been outfoxed, though, by this manoeuvre. Over here, the unit that were going to support their buddies are like, we're Nightlords. You've got him. You're outnumbered. It's fine. I've jumped back into the Rhino. The Rhino has moved this way because all of that stuff is scoring, and the remaining Nightlord Terminators are heading down towards these Space Wolves over here. We've done reactions, we've done everything. We're going to have the elite unit versus elite unit off in a moment, but first a shooting phase. First up, the Dreadnought is threading the needle, firing his last cannon all the way down into this Rhino over here. It'll hit it on 2s and glance it on 2s. And those are 2 penetrating hits. You've got a lot of 6 up cover in between there and here, or you can shroud.
And you can shroud.
And I can shroud.
Yeah, so 6 up cover. No. But that will be your only shooting reaction this turn. Mind you, it doesn't look like they've got much shooting.
Yeah, the rest is just bolters. So on the off chance he can survive as he's a scoring unit, I'll
You've got 1 hull point left.
Come on. No.
You don't manage to
Does he
evade.
explode with that penetrating hit?
Let's see.
He
No.
does not. We
It's a
have
wreck.
another rock. Another rock, another wreck. So the Rhino catches fire, and then this unit of Space Wolves get caught in a crossfire from Havoc launchers from the Rhinos and lose 1 of their number. And now over here, the Nightlords are rapid firing into the Terminators, hitting on 3s. And winning on 4s.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
2 up saves.
5 2-ups. They love it.
Then the Sons of Horus join them in the crossfire, slamming bolt rounds home. Here's the saves. And in the end, only 1 Cataphracti takes 1 wound. And with that, the shots of the traitors fall silent as they rearm, reload. That's the end of their shooting phase. We have some charges coming on. Nothing in the backfield for now, but over here, Terminators in the middle, trying to get to this unit of Space Wolves and you rolled a snake eyes, so they're surging forward an inch. Then over here, your Night Raptors going into the Death Swarm, and they will manage to make that charge. And the Night Raptors make the charge, issuing a challenge to the Speaker of the Dead, who's declined.
Declined.
Because?
I want to feel no pain.
You want to feel no pain and the hatred, everything. Bubble that he gives up, plus he's only got a chainsword. So the Death Sworn are all initiative 1. They're fighting last. The Nightlords can have their way. But once per battle, you have activated your stasis bomb. Yeah. It'll count as a disordered charge for the Nightlords. Praetor hits on 3s with his big chain glaive, and he'll wound on 2s with shred, and that is AP 3, breaching 6+, so 3 2-up saves.
Yep, all artificer armor.
And he doesn't manage to cut through the first of the Death Swarm. The Praetor failed to find the mark, but the headsman's axe on the sergeant manages to go smashing in, causing 2 wounds, 2 2-up saves. And one of them gets instant killed because it's strength 8, so no feel no pain, and 1 AP 2. So 2 have been taken out so far. Then the power sword failed to make its mark, but here are all the chain glaives and chain weapons hitting on 3s and wounding on 2s with shred, re-rolling those 1s, forcing 10 2-up saves. 1 damage a time. That's another one taken out.
Feel no pain.
Oh yeah.
Speaker of the Dead.
He feels the pain.
And then 1 that goes straight through, so just to feel no pain.
He feels the pain as well. Now the Death Swarm get to fight back, including 1 attack each from these brothers that have fallen, but they'll be hitting back on 5s. But they get to re-roll everything. They're Space Wolves. They have hatred because of the priest, the Speaker of the Dead, who helps out a little bit. Wounding on 3s. Doing this number of wounds. Now that will kill the injured one, leaving 8 more wounds. The Nightlords don't have a save, so you're going to tank some of them on the Praetor. Start with the first 2. He needs 4s. It's going badly. He's on 1 wound remaining. Hum. So 3 more of the Night Raptors fall. It's the AP 2. It's the heavy weapons of the Space Wolves come into effect. They need to pass a leadership test of 10 now, the Nightlords. Sorry, 8, because they lost by 2. They managed to hold. This combat is ongoing.
3 to 7.
And that's, well, you passed, right? You passed.
I passed.
And that is the end of Nightlord's turn 4. It's not the end of Nightlord's turn 4. There's another fight going over here between the lone Space Wolf. Yep. He swings his axe
2 times.
And he misses. His arm is a bit tired. Space Wolves fight back again. The Nightlords fight back again. They hit once. They wound him once, but he's got artificer armor, which holds, and this fight continues. We're about to go on to Space Wolves' turn 4, and they've got a unit rampaging through the backfield, and still a unit over here which is combat affected because the Terminators of the Nightlords failed to charge them, and a full unit inside this Rhino as well. So interesting. And that is the end of Nightlord's turn 4, with units split up all across the battlefield, with the Space Wolves yet to respond with this unkillable retinue of Cataphractii Terminators. It'll be interesting to see what they can do in Loyalists, turn 4. So then in the Space Wolves movement phase, this lone wolf is locked up with the support squad down here, but the Terminators and the Praetor move in for the kill. The Rhino in the Blackfield thinks Valor is the better part of courage and decides to step on the pedal and pull backwards. There's other reactions as well though. This team, believing it was supported by fire from the Spartan, decided to jump over the barricade and move towards the Contakar Terminators, who have reacted moving forward and are now out of line of sight from the Spartan. We're moving on to the shooting phase. The Spartan can't fire. We've got a unit of Devastators up here that can fire, however. And they're pouring fire down on the Rhino, trying to break cover on this side of the battle grid. It's going to be 3s to hit.
Oh, they've done it again.
And 2s to glance, 3s to pen. And it's Sunder that lands cannons. So 4 penetrating hits. And the tank tries to shroud on 5s. And it shrouds 3 of the penetrating hits and doesn't shroud the glance. What does the penetrating hit do? +1 to this dice roll. Just shakes it. Down to 1 hull point remaining on that Rhino, and it can still move. That wasn't on the script.
No, not at all.
Then we found a gun on the Spartan that can pierce through all the gloom and fire back at this Rhino over here, which will get a 6-up cover save, but these guys are twin linked. One of them hits so far. Just one hits the Rhino.
3's to pen.
Sunder. And there's a penetrating hit, a 6-up save on the second Rhino. This one goes through.
6 to kill it.
And that's a 3. It stuns it in place. It won't be able to move any further, but it's not out of the fight yet. Trying to get for those attrition points, trying to kill as much as possible. That is the end of the shooting phase, unless your Terminators want to unload into this unit down here. And they will fire in, rapid firing at this range. And they hit on 3s. Mass reactive rounds, wounding on 4s. And the Nightlords need to make 6 3-up saves. 4 of them get cut down. I'll take a leadership test now. That's a failed leadership test. There is a Vexilla in that squad. It's only going to be 1d6-inch fallback, meaning they fall back 1 inch. Then the Space Wolves charge. And at the end of the charge, they make it like this. Now the unit must test to regroup. And it passes, so it can fight as normal. If you failed that leadership test, it would have been swept. Over here, we also had a shooting attack from this unit of Space Wolves, killing one of the last Nightlord Terminators, and now they charge as well.
I want to charge.
What do you mean you don't want to charge?
He's nasty, and I'm going to get overrun, and I've got fists.
Is he Tartarus? Can he overrun you?
Yeah.
Oh, so you just shoot.
Yeah, he's got a nice, nasty power claw. So
okay, we'll fight over here. No, that's initiative 1. They're dead anyway. Let's go over here to the elite fight in the backfield. The champion, the Praetor, hits 3 times. He'll wound on 2s. With Shred, forcing 3 2-up saves. And you need to feel no pain. One of your guys is injured, and he doesn't feel the pain. Then the rest of the chain attacks come smashing in, causing 2 2-up saves.
Yep.
Which you're fine, and 1 goes straight through, 5-up, feel no pain. Then the sergeant raises the hetman's axe and hits twice. This will wound on 2s. And Shred. I think so. 2 more wounds. They're 2-up saves, but no, feel no pain if you fail them. No, you pass them, and so only 1 of the Death Sworn fall that turn, meaning that there's 6 left, because of course the Centurion, he's refusing challenges all the while. They're hitting back on 5s, however, and no hatred. We've gone past the first round of close combat.
Nice.
That's what 2 hits this turn.
Yep, great.
Okay, wounding on 3s as well this turn, because the Howl has died out, but it does manage to kill one of the Night Raptors in return. That puts your leadership down to 9, Alex. Have you got some dice?
I've got 2 dice.
And you managed to hold. See, you should have charged. That's the rust. That's punishment. Over here, this fight needs to continue between the support squad and this fella, who's now hitting on 4s. And he misses. He missed last turn. He missed this turn. Can his artificer armor keep withstanding the attacks? Because he gets wounded once again. And his armor holds firm. I believe this fight is going to continue for the ages. Is that the end of this turn?
You've got the Cataphract.
The Cataphracti into just a normal squad of dudes. And coming around this side, that squad has been wiped out. The sergeant had a power fist though, and finally managed to take down one of the Praetor's retinue, and that is the end of turn 4. We're about to go on to turn 5. So the way this works is, if there are scoring units and no other scoring units in this zone, points. And there's 2 scoring units down here. In the middle, there's a scoring unit right there. And I don't know if there's another scoring unit nearby. Oh, there is. The Rhino that lived. The unit inside is scoring. The Rhino itself are scoring. And in the backfield, there is a Spartan that is still scoring for Sam. So, you know, this could actually go down to 0-0-0 for the zones. And then it will come down to Warlord. And who's actually got more left? It's not attrition. It's who's got more left at the end of the game. How are we feeling?
Good.
50-50.
Feeling like the bad guy.
Well, the Sons of Horus called in for aid, and the Nightlords have certainly provided it, but will it be enough? Or will the Sons of Horus be able to push the traitors back off this battle grid? Let's go on to turn 5. The Nightlords make their very final moves. Over here, the Rhino hand breaking forward into this ruin on 1 wound remaining, busting its way there with its dozer blades and depositing this unit before it moved off. In the center, the heat blast from the claw has nuked the sergeant. And that's pretty much it. The unit over there has stepped backwards, but we're still in combat here. Alex is hoping very much so that he can kill that last sergeant in Artificer armor, and this combat is ongoing as well. But we have a shooting phase. Basically, it's in the center. The Nightlords are in rapid fire. They're hitting on 3s. And wounding on 3s, they outnumber the unit they're picking on. And that's 11 3-up saves. The Artificer armor has already fallen to the heat blast.
I'm going to evade.
So evading that in the shooting phase, needing further 5s and keeping 2 alive. Another 2 fall, however. The Terminator Sergeant feathers his heavy flamer, hitting 3 of them, wounding on 3s with 3-up saves.
Very good.
There's 4 remaining before 2 get hit by las cannon fire up that end of the table. The Contemptor Dreadnought has found them and wounded 2 of them. They've already shrouded. 2 of them just get shot in half. And that's the end of the shooting phase. They take a leadership test -1. The sergeant's dead. They need a 6.
11.
And that's an 11. They fall back.
D6 inches because the Vaxilla's still alive.
Okay.
2 inches.
Only 2 inches?
Come to me.
I think you might try and catch them
Come to me.
with the Terminator. But your board edge is that way. That's where the safety zone is. You're charging closer to the Terminator. It can't fail a charge now. And he goes smashing in. Because you're falling back, you need to make a regroup test. If you fail this, like that,
They just die.
they get completely overrun. The last of the Nightlord Terminators regroups. What a hero. Then we come to the Grey Slayer fighting this combat down here. The Plasma Team is still hanging in there. 4s to hit with his axe. And 3s to wound with his axe. No, his arm. He's I don't know why, but he just can't break through. Can the Plasma Team take him out?
We got this.
You hit him twice. You wound him once. Artificer armor 1 more time.
No.
It's a 2. The sergeant manages to hold. And then we get back to the 2 units of elites beating the crap out of each other. And honestly, it's all about scoring units right now. And this fight seems to be going nowhere. And at the end of that combat, there's 6 Nightlords remaining, 4 Space Wolves remaining. That one is destined to go on to the very end of the game. That's the end of Nightlords. Turn 5, their last actions of the game. They've got a troop unit up in this deployment zone. They've got a troop unit and control the central deployment zone. And now it's the time for the Space Wolves to spring their final Space Wolfy thing in Space Wolves of Space Wolves, turn 5. So here we are at the end of the Space Wolves turn, and they want to remove as many scoring units as they can and try and keep this guy alive, because at the moment he's in the middle zone, he's contesting it. They both score. This unit also contests. They bust their way around the crates, and what are they doing, Sam?
They're going to try a multi-charge to help out the Grey Slayer here.
Okay. We do have some shots, though. The Spartan and the Devastators over here can lay down some firepower. And the Spartan can draw some line of sight down to this Praetor here.
Yeah,
So, the Contocar Terminator, so he's firing in, hitting on 3s.
3 las cannons, twin linked.
And 2s to wound. And that Terminator will need 3 5-up invulnerable saves. And he gets cut in half. And now the Devastators are firing down at the Rhino that's parked up in their deployment zone. They're going to hit on 3s. And that's okay.
That's better this time.
Yes.
And 3s to
Pen.
with Sunder, so we'll just reroll everything.
That's a lot of penetrating hits. You got a 6-up cover save. You pop smoke last turn. You don't make any of them. You can shroud if you want to. You need as many 5s and 6s.
I need all these 5s and 6s.
You need all the 5s and 6s.
I think we should do it.
Okay. I thought it might be glorious. It's not glorious. Does the Rhino blow up? You've got 4 there to roll. We need a 6.
7.
We haven't had an explosion so far. There's a 6.
What is that?
It doesn't hurt anyone around it though. That's the end of the shooting phase. We've got an 8-inch multi-charge coming in here, and probably the last action of the game. Good luck.
Oh.
And that's a 9. You make the charge. The end of the charge looks like this. The Grey Slayer will get to strike the Plasma Squad first though. He hits once.
Doesn't
wound. The Plasma Squad will try and take him out. Hitting twice again. Wounding once. Artificer armor. Hangs firm. He stays there. And now you get to strike with the rest. Chain Fist attacking the Rhino.
Hitting on 2s.
Yep. And Armor Bane.
So the first one.
Penetrates.
Second one.
Penetrates. Just snake eyes will be a glance.
Third one penetrates.
3 AP2 hits.
Does it blow up?
No, it just becomes a smoking wreck, and the remaining attacks hit the squad of Nightlords. It is the Praetor with his massive Hammer of Doom, only hitting twice.
Winning on 2s though.
Smishing 2 into the floor.
Bam.
And now the Sergeant on the last remaining Nightlords. Hits him every single time.
Don't roll 4 ones.
And would have killed 4 people over. And the Space Wolves consolidate the Cataphracti retinue, moving down into the Nightlord zone. The hero Artificer Armor Sergeant striding back towards the middle of the battle grid. Now we're coming over here. It's 6-3-4 Nightlords versus, I keep forgetting their name, the Death Swan. And this time the Speaker of the Dead took the challenge into the Praetor because he was on 1 wound remaining, and it was the last thing he ever did. He got taken out by the Praetor from the Nightlords, and there's 2 Death Swarm packed left in there, facing off against 5 Nightlords now, and their leadership 8 stubborn. They lost that combat. That's a 10. They failed their leadership test. We have an initiative roll off. You roll a dice and add yours. So you rolled a 6. You rolled a 6. It's got to exceed. The Death Swan actually managed to break out of close combat. They fall back 2d6 inches, which is 7 inches.
Yeah.
And yeah, they break off the table. The Nightlords Terror Pack win. So at the end of that ferocious battle, both of the Warlords stand. The Warlord of the Space Wolves deep inside the Nightlords lines, and the Warlord for the Nightlords deep inside the Space Wolves line. So no one gets a point for kill the Warlord, but we added up all the units that are remaining on the table. How many aside?
I had 6 left.
And
the Nightlords had 7.
So they've got more units than you, so they get 1 point for the attrition score in this game. And now we need to work out, does anyone control this objective down here?
Contested.
Contested. Troops are in it. Does anyone control the middle objective?
Contested.
Contested, because you broke him out of cover.
Yeah.
Just because of that one hero Artificer Sergeant who's going to get lit up by these guys here.
You'll tank it.
So no points there. What about your objective? You've got a troops unit down here, which is the Spartan and the Rhino. Is that contested?
No, because they're not line, and in this mission the vehicles are scoring, and I've got Spartan and Rhino. So
that's 3 points to 1 in favour of the Space Wolves. It is a Space Wolf victory, and this is the way the world ends. So what do you think of that?
I don't think that was as brutal as some of the other games I played in 30k.
Yeah.
It's so I've still got some men left.
Yeah.
You know, some things and some stuff, and there's still a 500 point model here that's not touched. You know. 4 or 5 point unit over there that's not touched.
Yeah.
And these are still here.
Yeah. These are still here. What do you think of 10 Last Cannon Devastators? It's a bit mean.
It's good, isn't it? I like
it is good. I'll tell you what else is good though. Dreadnoughts mutually assured destruction in the middle of the battle grid. The Nightlords finally winning the War of Terror back there and making those Death Swarm pack. The elite of the elite fall back off the battle grid. What also is good though is, where did this guy start? Your Centurions and
they started in the Spartan, which got immobilized.
Right.
They jumped out.
Yes.
They killed a load of Contacar.
Right.
Then I used the advanced reaction when the melter guys
killed the tactical squad.
They charged into them, and then they've moved their way, snaked their way.
Killed another squad down here. And a Rhino, and down, yeah, okay, so they did quite well as well.
Everything they touched, they killed.
Pretty good for a unit that can't run, because Space Wars can run and charge. That's their thing. That was a glorious game to watch. So many epic moments there. I think it could have gone either way towards the end.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I really enjoyed the Nightlords, like the deep strike assault, being able to do it with that much stuff.
Have you ever done that before? Just put
Nah.
boom right
Not
in
with
the
the
middle.
new rules where you only roll once and then everything else comes in within 12. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
You can take a chunk of the battlefield.
When that happened, it was so narrative. It was so 30k. In they came, and I was wondering, could you push them back?
It was a struggle.
It was a struggle. 3 points to
I mean,
1.
there's still a load of Night Raptors over there and the Dreadclaw, so...
If this had gone on another turn, let's face it, he would be dead.
Yep.
And these guys could get in this cover and deny this as well.
These are nasty.
And you've got Melter Bombs with the Praetor over there to take out Spartan.
Yeah, it will make your way through the Spartan. What would be left by the end, because these would be plunging fire down onto the tactical marines. The only thing be left is these guys up here and your big swarm over there getting charged at by your nasty Terminators. But then there's a Dreadnought over there. And the Dreadnoughts, it's such a draw. It was such a close game. Thank you for both playing that. That was wonderful. What are we thinking of the 30k right now?
Much better than 40k.
Why, though? Why do you say that?
The scoring's done at the end. It doesn't feel so much like a hero hammer and you're like really tailoring your list and, oh, I've got to get a relic wall or trait stratagems, etc. It just happens and you kind of play with... It's just a dice game at the end of the day now, so you just roll the dice and that's kind of what happens, and you can really tech into the narrative with the lists that you build.
Yeah.
It's just good fun. Everything dies. I think it's something different as well. It plays differently to 40k.
But Alex, make him see reason. In this game, Heresy, there's explosions and sweeping advances and falling off. Horrible things happen.
We love the random.
It's
I
great.
much prefer it. And I think the models are actually better as well.
You do?
Yeah, like the scaled down size rhinos, the smaller original firstborn marines.
They're so posable,
Like,
aren't
look
they?
at this. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's a pretty cool.
That's just a heavy choice.
Yeah.
Those Dreadclaws, you don't see those in...
10
No.
guys with las cannons.
Not 4,
Nah.
10.
Eh.
How expensive is that unit? It must be 300.
300 points, yeah, I think it's 300 points.
That's a beautiful
It
unit.
did work.
Yeah, if you like the explosions and things, and if you like really bad things happening to you, but also sometimes really bad things happening to your opponent, and I mean really bad, beyond the scale of 40k bad, then Horus Heresy is the game for you. And if you'd like to support me, then consider becoming a tier 1 channel member. That's a way of just getting you custom emojis and badges and supporting me and things. Tier 3 unlocks all the additional loads of content videos. There's some Horus Heresy on there already, and opens my private Discord, stuff like that. In the meantime, I want to thank these two legends here for coming down, Sam N and Alex SEO. We had a game a couple of days ago to make sure that we were getting this down, and all three of us are very much enjoying the Heresy. We hope you enjoyed that battle report there. Battle maps from P-Work War Games, all that stuff up there is from urbanmats.com. All this cool cover stuff is from marchofwar.co.uk. Your bases and your army is basically painted. No, your bases are from marchofwar.co.uk, but you painted your stuff.
Not the Nightlords.
And the Sons of Horus painted to level 4 standard by Den of Imagination Painting Studios. Thanks for watching. Happy wargaming.
Bye.